Johnson & Johnson family of companies. 125 years caring for the caregivers.
It was a really exciting time of my life when I met Bill. We were young and we were healthy and we were having a great time, and we didn't know anything bad could ever happen to us.
We knew that we wanted to be committed, and we wanted to be committed to each other in a fairly short period of time. It was kind of obvious, for me anyway. My last summer before Charlie died of AIDS, and when he died, the whole thing about safe sex and all that stuff just wasn't around. I didn't talk about it, we didn't know about it, and so I saw many of my friends die of AIDS, and I knew that disease was there, and frankly I thought that's what was going to get me. I thought, oh okay, like everybody else, I'm going to get AIDS, I'm going to die, I'm going to have HIV. None of that. I'm HIV negative, none of that happened. You know, and then when I met Charlie, I thought, wow, I mean, he was healthy, I was healthy. I thought, great. I dodged this incredible bullet that so many of my contemporaries didn't. And then I got sick. It's like unbelievable. It was completely unbelievable. I was 40 years old, and all of a sudden, cancer that had spread already. It was mind-boggling.
He's had multiple surgeries over the years and multiple treatments after that.
And he'd make sure I get to the doctor, make sure that they know the story, because you got to repeat it every single time you go. And if you go as much as I do to hospitals, even the same hospital over and over again, you need somebody there to talk about it.
If I serve any purpose to him in the caregiver role, I think it's perhaps more emotional. I want to try to spare him as much physical pain as possible, and there's a lot that he has gone through.
Without him, honestly, I wouldn't be alive as long as I have been, because there are times when I feel like I want to give up, and also to have somebody there to advocate for you, to say, hey, you know, he's been in this room for 3 hours, what the heck are you doing? You know, because frankly, I don't have the energy to do it at that point. I really need and want his help. But sometimes the disease is overwhelming. The stuff that you're going through is overwhelming, and you don't appreciate the person's emotional well-being.
It's a rough road. It really is, to try and hold it together emotionally and psychologically while still being there for the person you love. I get angry at him for being sick, you know, when clearly it's not his fault, but when 3 in the morning, when he's got a high fever and we've got to get up and get him to the emergency room, when I should be my most compassionate, you know, there are times when I've taken it out on him. Finally, about a year and a half ago, my friends kind of got together and had an intervention, and because I really wasn't doing so well. I thought I was, but I really wasn't. And they said, you got to do something. You got to find somebody to talk to, and you can't shoulder this emotional burden by yourself anymore. And so, at the recommendation of a friend, I found a therapist, and it's been incredibly helpful for all the negative feelings that you might have, you know, guilt and regret and all kinds of things, you know, that you really feel bad about. I shouldn't be feeling this. You know, he's the one that's going through it. You're not entitled to these feelings. You come to learn that they're really natural and they're normal, and anyone in this situation would feel the same thing that you're feeling. And it's, if not liberating, at least it gives you permission to feel the things that you're feeling. We had quite a serious talk a couple of weeks ago, and on more than one occasion, because Bill is so mindful of what I'm going through, he said, this can't be any fun for you. And in the past, when he said that, I've sloughed it off. I wasn't going to go there with him. I didn't want him to think that he was responsible for anything I might be feeling, that he would then feel guilty about himself. But I've gotten to a point where I think that not acknowledging the reality is not productive to what we're facing. So he said it to me again, and I said, yeah, you're right. It's really not a lot of fun. And he said to me, well, maybe you should leave. Maybe you should go in, take care of yourself. And it was shocking to me that he would entertain the thought that I would even think about going away. I said, no, I'm not going anywhere. I said, what I'm doing is staying here and trying to find a way to make this work better for us, you know? And I have no explanation for why I feel that way. I just do.
It's kind of cliche. You really learn to appreciate the good times. And you know, when I'm in the garden and I'm digging in dirt and my hands are filthy, I feel better. It's really strange. I mean, I can go out there and feel really sick and work for half an hour putting a plant in or pruning, and I just feel better. I just feel so much better, and it energizes me again.
Bill, we've lost track now. We used to say the first time, the second time, the third time of cancer, but now we've lost track because it's become one big long thing. But I do remember when it was like the fourth or fifth time we went to his oncologist and he was evaluated and said, no, I think we beat it back again. I think we're done for a while. And this happened to be in January or so. And I said to Bill, oh, you get to be in the garden another summer. And it really, I think he lives from summer to summer just to get back out in the garden. And he referenced what an avid gardener he is. And I am so not. I mean, I really could care less. But when I come home from work, he grabs me by the hand, he goes, let's walk the grounds. And we walk around the garden, and he points out this flower and that flower. And but when I see the look on his face, I mean, it reminds me why I love him, because he's so passionate about it, and he's got so much spirit. And I think that's why you've lasted all this time, that spirit.
This program was brought to you by Johnson & Johnson, in association with Good News Broadcast.